It was a typical weekday in Sunnyvale. Nothing should have happened to a 15-year-old young girl. Sarah Smith left the house as usual, heading to the school bus stop. However, Sarah did not get on the bus and did not come to school that day. And she didn't come home either. What happened to the girl? Literally immediately, the police began searching for Sarah, and 2 days later they found the girl's belongings. Near a barn in a field about 2 miles from Sarah's house, school textbooks, a purse and clothes were found. During the investigation of Sarah's abduction, the police assumed that she was the victim of a sexual crime. 2 months after the teenager's disappearance, police arrested a suspect named Harris. It is alleged that this man already has a reputation as a sex offender, since before Sarah's disappearance he had several attempts, which, however, ended unsuccessfully. However, he was able to use this as a better preparation for Sarah's murder. The question arises, why was Harris at large after he had committed several attacks on women? But, unfortunately, Harris himself did not admit his guilt, and all attempts by the police to collect evidence against him turned out to be empty. So, 26-year-old Harris was arrested 2 months after Sarah disappeared. Sarah's belongings, which were found by the police, were thoroughly examined, after which biotraces were found in the victim's purse. By comparing Harris' DNA and these traces, Harris' guilt was established. But that's not all. The perpetrator had a personal sedan, and the police found traces of Sarah in it. Sarah's DNA and her hair were found on a rope in the trunk of the car. Sheriff's officials say that Sarah was not familiar with Harris. Sarah's abduction is not a planned crime, it is a completely random abduction, a sudden act of violence on the part of the perpetrator. The perpetrator lived at a distance of just over 10 kilometers from the girl's place of residence. This is not a comfortable house or apartment. Harris lived in a crowded trailer with his mom, his wife, and the kids. There were also witnesses in the case who claimed that they saw the criminal's car near the place where the girl disappeared. Harris' lawyer argued that the charges were illiterate, without the involvement of the prosecutor in the case, which, in his opinion, is not proof. The lawyer also tried to cast doubt on the physical evidence, arguing that Sarah's DNA and hair could have been damaged during the investigation or in the forensic laboratory. And what's the result? For the parents of 15-year-old Sarah, nothing is over yet. 2012 was a year of horror for them. Even after the perpetrator is caught and legally punished, it doesn't get any easier for the girl's parents. The body of their beloved daughter has not yet been found. The criminal did not make a deal with the police, and therefore did not indicate the place of burial of the girl. A jury has convicted a man of kidnapping and murdering Sarah. It was the right decision. This does not bring peace to our family, the victim's mother said at a press conference. After the verdict, the jury considered the possibility of imposing the death penalty on Harris. However, they refrained from such a verdict and imposed a life sentence without parole on the criminal. Sarah's parents expressed their gratitude to the district attorney, the crime lab, the sheriff's department and the search and rescue service. This is such a tragic story, coupled with the horror of the victim, the distress of her parents and the selfless work of law enforcement agencies. May God grant you kindness and mercy, friends. She hugged you. Olivia.